Hello, Divine Sunshiners. Stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago. Hello, this is Divine Sunshine, coming to you with a channel message about the DMs. There is a shift happening and occurring with the DMs. And the shift that's happening and occurring with the DMs is bringing out the truth. I like how another reader has said about that. They're being exposed. And they're being exposed for the reason of, which is my theory, where I always say you don't bring your 16 bags, 16 hefty bags. I keep on hearing like a dog whimpering in my ear, and it's not my dog. 16 hefty bags. That's interesting that I would hear dog whimpering. What that would represent would be dog goes back to my thing about what we talked about earlier. I came up with the thing. Dog represents authority, laugh, loyalty, authority, and friendship. For me to hear, and it stops soon as it's like, I want you to pay attention to the dog whimpering. That is, and most time when dog whimpers, that means they're hurt. And so in putting those things together, things are coming out because they are hurt, but they might also be hurt by being exposed. Things coming up. Because it needs to come up in order for this union and this big merge that is supposed to be happening. My understanding that it started March the 28th, which is the big merge. And coming together in order to house both the divine feminine and divine masculine energies within ourselves and the divine feminine and divine masculine energies on the outside. Some things have got to get rid of. I'm hearing they say you got to make some room for those things. Still hearing the whimpering. So it's dealing with this woundedness. This woundedness that's occurring in the divine masculine energies as far as in the world. Also with their ego too as well, because again I'm hearing them saying this falseness that this over buffing over, like, you know, this going back to also referring to how even society says, you know, you got to be the man's man and you got to go and rely upon that to help build you up as well. These things that we're talking about, even with the man thing, has caused them to make decisions based upon this belief system that were fear-based. And so we are now at this point where the divine masculine has got to deal with this wounding. He's literally whimpering. He comes in and out. And I can keep on hearing this dog here. So this is another gift on tap that's presenting itself now. It's just whimpering and hurting. Seems like pause to me. So which would mean to me is, again, your foundation, where you're stepping, your next step. It's like, I can't make the next step. Yeah, well, you can't make the next step until you clear out that information. Even if you wanted to, you want to put weight on it. I'm seeing this dog whimper. You want to put weight on it. You want to really do that. You've got to handle that. You got to let that heal. You got to heal before you be able to make that next step. And you need to, I'm really almost like with the dog I'm hearing, I want to say, it's okay, it's okay. You know, you want to take that part for the divine masculine, and you got to come in and you got to heal that. Now, we're not talking about this only for the males, but we also talking about the in the females too, the energy. There's some things that's going on, and you probably have felt that it started with that new moon, and it's coming on at a full moon or whatever, the new moon and this full moon that's in Libra here, which is creating you to make you and pushing you to become balanced. in this balancedness where you are, you've got to be able to see where you are and where you are wounded. Because I understand, I think Chiron is in there too, and Chiron represents the wounded healer. So again, that wounded warrior, rather, which needs to turn into becoming a wounded healer. That was a misspoke, but it was right on time too. And this is where we are getting moved to, from that warrior that's battling, because sometimes you could be a warrior, and I can see him warring to the point that you feel like everybody's the enemy, and you got to be conscious as to what it is specifically that you need to be looking at. So many of the divine masculines, and some of you all might be in touch with or not in touch with your divine masculine, and they maybe have become silent. There's some things that are coming up to the surface that's being exposed. I could even take a page from my own life, deal with my mom, and it's interesting to understand about this connection thing, that I mean, if things need to be cleared as far as you merging and coming together, rather is your partner is alive and the other one is passed on. I've seen that even with my mom's connection with her and dad. Some things that is came up within them from on his end about some things that she didn't know that had happened, that had been brought to her attention. And it's like, okay, now we've taken a whole, we were all the way back about this thing about connecting, and I'm now questioning it. This has to occur in order for her to be able, on her walk, to be able to have that union again in whatever form that they're going to do spiritually, whatever it is that on their next leg of their journey as well. The issue is that I'm seeing it does not, if it's got to be cleared, and it's the coming together for whatever, as I call it, the divine woke nation, a woke divine nation that's coming in, is because it's awakened. Everybody is pretty much on an awakened state in some state of form right now. Even the ones of that's outside of what we call the twin flame connection are being awakened. It's some things that, again, I see, you can't see, but I'm getting notification which lets me know and say yes. In some form or not, you can see that with the election and the things of people saying, okay, no, I got to change. We can't keep on signing on for things unconsciously. We got to be conscious about our purpose, about our decisions, whether we're for what's going on in the world or against, or we want to be the change maker. We have to be more consciously aware of that. This is where we are in our divine masculine energies. We have to understand, especially for the divine feminine energies, how can we be able to help the divine masculine energies? Is several ways that we got to understand that we are the teachers. We are the modeling. And sometimes it doesn't mean that we got to actively go over there and take their hand and do anything. It's just like, by my fruits or my ways I am known. So just you doing the shift that benefits you within yourself, which is also going to benefit outside of yourself, is going to be able to create that shift within you. The divine masculines at this time are going through this. We think about also, I don't know what's his name, Derek Jackson, his thing there. You know, he was one that I believe in some ways had, if you don't know him, he's a big guru for men. He was so-called exposing the men about their ways and giving tips to ladies. He was like breaking the man code to be able to help out the ladies to understand men better, so they can be able to move in their being in relationships better too as well. But then found out he was put on blast, as I call the kids, tell the kids about his life. He was cheating, and then it all came out to life. And so now it's a question about his journey as to where he's going to move now career-wise, because he based it upon supposed to be integrity of understanding the man. He is now wounded. He has been exposed, and he's got to now get to the point that now he's got to create a new reality, not based upon a little truth with a bit of illusion, but truly being of integrity. Now, I'm not saying that this gentleman is a twin flame, but again, in his way, he was calling himself to be the true model of the divine masculine or the divine male, or the male that be the template of which would be everything that society says that a man would be on a good day. Let's put it that way. I put it that way. A man should be on a good day. Now he's got to, and I like how I've seen on young ladies, I think I say Sensei Tarot, and we're kind of piggybacking on each other, which is you saying now in order for him to be able to listen, and he's got to have the illusions that he clinged on to, it's got to be stripped away, and he's got to now, for me, I'm gonna add on my own thing, is now is like Aladdin, it's a whole new world that he's got to rebuild back upon. She brought up a very good point about narcissism, because a lot of times we say in these divine masculines, a lot of it's a narcissism, it's about self. And she was saying that, and I know I had Angela on here saying it's a mental thing, but she was bringing up another aspect about the narcissism is if you take that illusion that's feeding and that's fueling the narcissist, which is the illusion of the house, the home, and this and whatever like that, that's helping to build and feed their ego. If those things are taken away from them, they have no choice of the illusion for them to start to really get into alignment with that reality check that the universe is bringing to them. Because all of those things feed on to help him to identify the ego or self, or what I am doing, if I'm being successful, if I'm being this. This is why on us, we'll take that page. This is Derek Jackson's tower. This is why we said sometimes these towers are good. Towers are good because they help to break down the foundation in which we have set up for ourselves that are based upon false things or fear, false evidence appearing real. And doing so, that helps us to say, okay, now build again. Now, in some ways, I can hear the spirit say, source say, now do I have your attention? Good. So now let's begin. Let's start rebuilding over again. Let's see, 12:21. Let's start building over again a way that's more so based off of integrity, of honesty, that's aligning with your highest good and what's aligning with the vision that I have for you, which is greatness. So the divine masculines right now, energies, whether it's in the female or male, is being reset. There's some things that are being cleared out and moved out. And some of us are like babies, no, but they say yes, because you're not hearing me. You're not trusting me. You're not doing what's going to make you truly happy. You're just selling from here and saying the okie doke. So just like that dog that I was hearing and it stopped, that whimpering that's going on, that whimpering, that hurt. Some of you all might not even be able to hear the whimpering that's going on within your spirit and your divine masculine energies. It's saying it's got to be fixed. We got to deal with it. I can't step on my paw. I can't make a forward movement because right now this is stopping me, because we got to really deal with it, whether it's the childhood wounds, whether it's the addictions, whether it is the not being able to see it, not believing in ourselves, those things. That's important for us to be able to do that. So I'm gonna say the same things just like I said in the other one. We got to practice discernment in the people who we're looking at, discernment in the people that we are putting our faith and trust into. I would say that that's another caveat to that lesson about the gentleman Derek Jackson too as well. I found it interesting. That's another trend I've been seeing, is a lot of people saying about these false prophets. And I remember we had card reading, maybe the last card reading that I did, because my stuff connects, and we were talking about the prophets and being able to move into their energies of understanding, to be able to bring the truth, to bring the vision. we have to also be very mindful of the people that we are listening to. There are prophesies, whether they're friends or myself or things like that, that make sure that it's helping to create that healing process and not keep us perpetually even that codependency of the addictions, or not really truly being able to, because some of us, some of the people out there are feeding your fear. It's not helping you to get out of that. And so that's very important that you understand that and start to get into that point of discernment. So please note that the divine masculine energies right now are going through some exposure so they could truly have this union. Rather is that class of 2021 is this year that's really now, or divine masters that say they want this union, but universe is saying, okay, you want it, but guess what? You got to clear out this stuff. You can't come up in there with the lies and the trickery or the things that, you know, hey, I could have this and have my cake and eat it too kind of mentality, and knowing you have not done the work, and you just, as Kathy D said, you just corner cleaning, but you're not really, you're roundabout cleaning, but you ain't corner cleaning. You're not getting all into the niches and getting yourself really cleared out. Say, I don't want to bring all this stuff to my divine counterpart or to my cohort. That's my new thing now, my cohort. I don't want to bring that to my cohort. Cohort, H-E-A-R-T. I don't want to bring that to my cohort again, because it's almost like two pieces of a heart. It's already kind of jagged, and I know together they helped us together makes a whole heart. We're both whole pieces, but if we got a lot of jagged edges to that as well, that's going to cause a problem for us to really truly be able to come together. And that is why we have to let the divine masculine have that exposure happen, have those towers happen, so they can really start to get into their truth. Because if you're working on being in your truth and they're working on being in their truth, but it's still the part of them that's saying, okay, it looks good, you know, like when you invite somebody over and you put some stuff, say, I'm just gonna throw all this stuff in the closet, ain't nobody gonna be in there, but it looks nice and clean. The spirit is saying, nope, you gotta go deal with the closet too, because you'll never know if that person might step over there and open up the closet door and say, oh, I want to put my coat up, and then all that junk falls on them. It's like, okay, this place is not as clean as I thought it was. And that's with your divine cohort. You want to make sure that they're coming with you having as clean as possible. Now, there's some things that maybe your cohort, when they come over, they're going to have to help you clean. We get that. We understand that. But at the end of the day, we want it to the point that it is your heart that you bring in, and their heart that they're bringing to the union is smooth and able to click together as possible. You don't want that extra, you know, sometimes you got pieces of extra crud clicking onto it. It's like, it's supposed to go, but this is blocking it. You don't want that happening. All right. As always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, namago. Don't forget to go over to divineunassociate.co and register for the Ground Zero event. If you don't know, I have a video telling you, explaining what the Ground Zero virtual event, which is free, is going to be held on next Sunday, April the 4th. At 2 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you go over there. We got a lot of great guest speakers that's going to be there, and I'll talk about it also if you venture over there and get more details over there, but you also be able to see it with the video that I'm going to have linked on with this down below. All right then, and I'll be talking to you real soon.